in disguise. Children of Primus, collectors in disguise. Children of Primus, collectors in disguise. Children of Primus. Children of Primus.
I just love what Fear Courage is wearing because I just recently started going to Aldi's now, and I have the exact same color of just KO knockoff cheese puffs. It's the exact same colors.
I'll tell you what it is. It's a Metroid hat.
Ah,
But I do legitimately wear it because it's cold. But my long hair, which I am getting cut fairly soon, is so long that once this hat goes on, it messes it up so much that I just don't take it off until the day is done. So if I had to put it on at all, that's it for the day. It's staying on.
Over there, we see Optimus Prime after he's had a meeting with Megatron.
Yeah, I realized this morning that my glasses fit on him perfectly on that part.
Oh my! That just
So
makes me want to test if mine would fit.
It's Optimus Prime.
See, he's protecting my glasses so they don't look like him.
Optimus
So am
Prime
I
has seen
correct
better
that
days.
tonight's topic is about Optimus Prime and Toxitron, right?
Well, the second half, I think.
First
Or is
half.
it first half?
It's
okay.
This half, yes. We're gonna save. We're saving the comics for the second half.
Oh, okay. I grabbed my issue and everything.
So as we mentioned about that being the topic, thanks to Mr. Magnus already sending me this back during Christmas, I have both.
Toxitron
I have
and P2 Optimus.
There you go.
I had Toxitron right when he, and then I have Optimus now. He sent me him with the others, so now I have both of them, and I've just started doing a stop motion with Toxitron here. So there will be what now? So let's just name off. So for once this week, I'll have a lot of videos to show. I have these two in stop motion. I have my face transforming. I have like a whole bunch of stuff.
Nice.
For once, and some news.
Oh, add some news. Well, before we get to your news, Fear Courage, what news do you have aside from the comics, which we will save for Teletran 2?
Oh, God. I don't know. I spent most of this week catching up on things. Caught up on Transformers, caught up on Void Rivals, caught up on Cyberworld. You probably picked Toxitron as a topic because the MLDX one got unveiled, right?
Yes.
It's not a lot going on this week. They showed some demonstration videos of like final samples of the Leo Kaiser HasLab, just so the people that already ordered it can get a better look at what they're getting.
Okay. Actually, let me add it to the scene here.
Oh yeah, right there. There's a couple of different Toxitrons coming out right now too. Yeah, no, I took a quick scroll through the news and we very quickly went straight back to last week's stuff. So
okay.
Yeah, not a lot going on right now.
It's trippy how he's such an obscure character because he only existed because of that one whatever rare figure from 2001 of the recolor of Scourge. So it's just so crazy how he all of a sudden becomes slightly a main character. That rare TFCon or TF whatever it was figure. Then you have animated Optimus Toxitron. Then you have Combiner Wars Toxitron, and now you have Legacy Toxitron. Those are like the only figures besides his small little toys that he's had.
Yeah, he's this sort of interesting thing that I've mentioned before sometimes happens in Transformers where you'll have a character who's like a D-list character, but they show up a lot because they're also an easy repaint of someone. So
and
he's
sooner or later
another
become popular.
Optimus repaint.
since to go off this Toxitron here is, well, pretty much a key member to the Wreckers, being one of the ones that actually was able to combine with other Wrecker members.
Yeah. It,
And on top of that, his stuff is pretty much Wrecker material, in my opinion.
yeah. Okay, so conceptual history here. Toxitron started, and part of the reason there's a mystique there is because he was a canceled figure originally. The original Laser Optimus Prime from 1994, from Generation 2. In the mid 2000s, there was that toy line there called Transformers Universe, where they were just repainting everybody constantly. And there were plans to take Laser Optimus Prime and repaint him into a Decepticon called Toxitron. His green and purple color scheme and all these toxic sludge decals on him. But the figure was canceled. They decided they didn't want to bother putting it out. And it showed up at BotCon a few times, and like, here, have a look at some rare Hasbro samples of unreleased stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so people were like, ooh, that's ugly, but in an awesome way. So much so that BotCon would later get in on it and release the first couple of Toxitrons. And one of them was a repaint of Combiner Wars Optimus, and that was the first time there was any stories that the character was in. So they finally got to explain who he was, and he was basically a parody of the Toxic Crusader. An experiment gone wrong, who's radioactive and sludgy and can't be touched, or else he'll melt anybody. And he's supposed to be a villain. And then, of course, as Impactor said during the BotCon stories about him, he eventually joined up with the Wreckers and became heroic, because in that setting they were facing extinction, and he's like, well, better join the people stopping that. Yeah. There was also a Transformers animated version of him, also a BotCon figure, where they wrote him as a parody of Bizarro from Superman, where everything he did was like the opposite of Optimus, and he talked with him and everything. Yeah. And yeah, very recently they did the one that Impactor has there, because Laser Optimus got a new figure in Legacy. They were like, well, there's an easy repaint. Let's repaint him into Toxitron and name the whole Toxitron collection after him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically who he is. So it's like if you have an Optimus, it's like, well, him, Ultra Magnus, maybe Shattered Glass Optimus, maybe Nemesis Prime, and then if you get down to like repaint number 5, they're probably going to do that one.
Out of all the Optimus remolds, or characters-wise, I would say Toxitron is pretty much the most OP one besides Shatterglass Prime, or I would say personally, this is like my personal favorite of Optimus. It'd either be Skybound Optimus with the amount of stuff that he has to go through, or Transformers Prime Optimus. Like, he could maybe rival one of them with just how Toxitron is, basically, and all that toxic stuff.
I'm just going to share some screens. There we go. Where's the share button? There's the share button.
As you're getting the share screen, Joe Prime, what's up, Joe? Hanging
What's
out
happening?
in the comments. What's up, fellas? Toy Warp saying, like what these guys are doing, make sure to let them know and support the channel by liking the live stream, and also by liking Toy Warp Vintage Reviews on YouTube. Check out his videos as well, and his reviews. And and then Toy Warp and Joe are having their own conversation over in the chat. But Joe says we've probably gotten more EVA Primes than Toxitrons.
There's really only been 2 EVA Primes, the first Masterpiece one and then that new one that's coming out. I was just about to trace it via the magic of the wiki. So that first photo there, this is of what was supposed to be the original, the one that got canceled. And he's not even transformed correctly, but that's what he looked like on display at BotCon. And you can see he's got the name, he's got the toxic sludge, and everybody was like, why didn't you release this guy? This looks ugly in a fun way.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we didn't think anybody would want this. And then a few years later, BotCon does the Combiner Wars version and starts making stories about him. Yeah, this is just Combiner Wars Optimus in a different color scheme.
With a new head.
Yeah, with a new head. So you can make the central torso of a Combiner. And then here's the most recent one that they did in the Toxitron collection, which Impactor has, basically finally making the original vision of him come true by painting Laser Optimus Prime up in those colors. And then if I back up a little bit, you can see the Transformers animated version, which was also a BotCon figure. Again, it's just Optimus in toxic colors.
I feel like they did this one 10 times better, and which is why I plan to hunt this one figure down in the future as a rare one to have in the collection. I know it goes for astronomical prices, but
Oh
if
yeah,
my dad is if my dad is with me, I'm pretty sure my dad and his smooth talking can at least decrease the price.
let's see how many there. Oh yeah, they usually say limited to 1,500 pieces. That's how many of them
The,
exist.
the cheapest
Wow.
I've ever seen him be sold is 150 or almost $100.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah,
The
the
Combiner Wars one I know that definitely got a little bit more out there, if I'm correct, especially in Japan.
yeah, but the legacy one here, this is the most he's been available. This is the only one you could just like buy at a Walmart.
I wish they would repaint that legacy animated Optimus into him already, because he just feels like, with a name like Toxitron, he kind of fits that the
They
tick
already gave
body
us
build that
Nemesis
it has.
Prime.
Yeah, I'm sure they
Nemesis
will
Prime
eventually.
has the battle mask, so we know that they have a battle mask designed for him already. So just give us it already, please, Hasbro.
Again,
Yeah, they got it on
you want to
that
talk?
Nemesis I got from Mr. Magnus that has the battle mask.
May I
on it.
ask? I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but apparently Hasbro has unfortunately started trying to use AI to improve some of their things or create things. It's something I recently heard about.
Yeah, I was gonna rope that into one of our streams, hopefully next week, because I know it's been a while since we want to, tackle the whole AI conversation. And
I have some stories then for that because I know a few things that have happened recently with the AI stuff. So I'll save it for
Okay.
next week.
Okay,
Yeah, there's been some questions on if some of the box art, especially for like the Gen Select stuff, if some of that's been AI generated in Park or
No.
not.
First I've heard of it. Generally, they get credits, which helps.
well, I mean, from the slight news that I've heard about it, yeah, they were talking about it in terms of the future toy design. So it's if that happens, a lot of the jokes were just kind of like, maybe a year or two from now, when certain things start popping up, and be like, that's so that's what the outcome was gonna turn out to be. But I mean,
Magnus
that's
said
all
himself.
speculation for now.
He said himself that Transformers would disappear sooner or later, unfortunately. In that one stream a while ago, I forget what it was, but he said
Who
that. And
said that?
well, no, I gotta then pull it back up because I was there for it. It might have been one of the streams before we introduced the Teletron IV1.
Hmm.
So a while ago stream.
Well, I know I've thrown this
Oh, wow.
to Toy Warp. I don't know if he's still in the comments, but it is kind of that theory that possibly at one point in the future, Transformers, I don't know, the need or popularity of it may kind of slowly phase as, say, like people who collected like Elvis records and stuff, whereas just like that generation, is slowly, passing away or slowly, letting go of that collection. And in a sense,
Well,
you know,
the
with
iPod is making a big return because of all the stupid stuff that Spotify and YouTube have been going through with their music stuff right now. Sooner or later, downloadable music is gonna sooner or later come back apparently, since the iPod has already been starting to get reinvented for better usage.
Well, but the funny thing with downloads is there is that shift in terms of a lot of people wanting physical media because, if you have your DVD or your CD, you have that forever. Whereas like opposed to a streaming service, either they're gonna get bought out, disappear, or the monthly subscription rates just keeps increasing and increasing to the point of I have my CD, I've paid for it once, I can watch it a million times, not have to worry. Whereas like with some streaming services, you may have your favorite show at a certain point, they discontinue it. So you're kind of like, you have to go back to your physical media.
Spotify currently has been losing a whole lot of big bands that have wanted their stuff in there, and with all the stuff that's been recently happening, what Spotify's been so choosing, it's just became a train wreck at this point. It's
Yeah, some
legitimately
of
getting
their
close. It's getting close to derailing, basically.
some of their ad choices, like they had let some of like the ice ads like be
Yeah,
on there, and like I've been on there where you're like listening, it's like, and then I remember when
and
the election was going on 2 years ago, or
I got one of those ads,
and there's a
unfortunately, and then
bunch
I
of those
began.
ads, and we stopped playing not Spotify at the art studio for a while until
Oh,
elections were over because it was that bad.
interesting.
Go
But
off this right now. The real cost foundation for the vaping stuff has been the repeated one I've been unfortunately hearing, to the point now I'm just preparing to start screen recording every last music I have, put the credit to each creator, and I'm just going to have it just chilling in my thing. So if anybody just asks me, I have credited the correct person, and I just have it chilling there.
there you go. And Joe Prime, in terms of Transformers disappearing, says no, that won't happen. Transformers keeps evolving. Keeps evolving. It will stick its way to ingrained. So essentially, it will be around forever in a sense. Oh, fear I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna say fortunes have risen and fallen, but generally it's never stopped existing since 1984. So,
Hmm.
like, it was at its lowest in the early 90s when all that was happening was a toy line in Europe and nothing else,
Yeah.
and that's never been as close to non-existing as that. So, I don't think there's any danger, honestly.
Well, actually, I guess I would throw this to you. In the early 2000s, what part of the franchise existed?
Early 2000s. It was doing. People think it wasn't doing well, but no, it was doing very well because this is when Armada, Energon, and Cybertron came out,
Okay.
and those toy lines were huge among young kids, like the under 10 audience. The toy lines and the cartoons were. That was when Dreamwave had the comics license, which eventually they went bankrupt. But that's because they stunk, not because it wasn't popular.
Right.
Until Skybound's Transformers number one, Dreamwave's Transformers number one was the best-selling Transformers comic ever.
Okay.
um, and that was right at the start of the nostalgia boom too. So that's when we got the first sets of G1 reissues and the
Yes.
alternators and things. So it was doing very well in the early 2000s, actually.
Okay. Because I'm just I know by early 2000s, in a sense, when you're older, you're not really aware of like the newer iterations. But I
Yeah,
remember, eBay being like everyone jumping on eBay to
eBay.
backtrack like all of the stuff they couldn't get when they were a kid. So it's kind of like that helped to
yeah.
revigorate the franchise.
It was
I was
the
gonna say,
one Optimus voice line of just saying eBay. And then all of a sudden, and now eBay has become one of the centerpieces for Transformers figures.
Ladies man
Like seriously,
2137.
look, look, it's 217 if I'm correct. But to go
Yes.
off this, 500,000 searches for Transformers from TFCon exclusives to BotCon exclusives, everything. And if you search up, actually mentioning this, different countries eBay, so like Japan, Germany, all of them, you'll find more of the rarer things. Specifically, if you search up the eBay for Japan, because some of their stuff there is pretty decent.
Hmm.
And you're still able to do global shipping with them still.
Now, Joe Prime says, wasn't RID around that time as well?
yeah,
Yeah, you had
robots in
RIDO one
disguise.
in 2015
Yeah.
because
So
it's two
yeah, it
different
was two
series.
robots in disguise was 2001. Armada was 2002. Uh, lasted a couple of years. Each one of those ran for a couple of years. By Cybertron ended in 2006, and then the movie was in 2007. So
Right.
that's the anime years were what was happening for most of the 2000s. You know,
Yeah, I remember two
specifically,
guys I was in college with in '01, at fall of '01, so my first semester, and they did their argumentative essays about comparing on if like long going series should follow continuity, even if it's like a soft reset or a hard reset.
you know,
And they wrote about like G1 Transformers versus RID 2001, aka Car Robots in Japan.
Hmm.
This is a random thing I just happened to remember just now.
Yeah, because people weren't like used to the idea of uh, continually resetting the continuity at that point because everything from the start of from the start of the original series up to the end of Beast Machines was just one continuity, television wise.
Right.
Like, you did have like the comics were always their own thing, but you still had people trying to sort of see if they could maybe reconcile them. So when Robots in Disguise 2001 came out, people were like, is this a reboot, or are we trying to squeeze this in somewhere? And finally, when Armada came out, that's when people were like, oh, okay, we're just doing reboots all the time now.
Well, I mean, then there's a Japanese series,
Mm,
which then that was a bit confusing because it's like, well, then is it a continuation or a whole different storyline?
yeah, well, yeah, it helps that,
Yeah,
remember,
season
in the
four,
early
season
2000s, a lot of
four,
this stuff
U.S. and
wasn't easily watchable to a North American audience. So they kind of
Mhm.
So
you
mentioning
had to have
RD,
the bootleg tapes,
Yep.
basically.
it's
Yep.
it's been kind of a fever dream for me with that. So to explain this, back when I was super young, so maybe 5, maybe 6,
Still are.
I well no, I'm now considered a teenager. Thank you very much. So I'm not.
That's
I'm a
still young.
little old now.
Oh, Sedum, you've been told.
Anyway, during that time, I grew a fascination with it because I always saw the intro. The intros were always captivated me back when I was so young because it looked pretty decent and cool. And at this time, I was just watching Rescue Boss, Optimus Prime, and any good TV show from like 2008 or 2005, primarily with a bunch of the DC and Ben 10 shows and movies coming out at the time. And so it took me over, I would say, 7, maybe 10 years, so maybe 2021 it was, when I finally discovered what it was called and just started putting pieces together and binged the entire series in under 2 weeks.
Nice.
So like that's how I became a full fan of it, and that's actually the reason why I became a full fan of the build team because this was crazy actually. My aunt surprisingly gave the landfill, that being high tower and heavy load from Salvation Army, complete for one Christmas a while ago, and also gave me Sideburn. So I had 3 of the RID figures without knowing anything of them. And sooner or later, after that 2023 or no 2024 summertime, I get Grimlock and now Wedge, and now I have Landfill laying around here.
Nice.
Except the unfortunate
And
issue
that's
is
the
that
and
my
that's the
Wedge
that was a construction vehicle.
old figure, unfortunately, his arm snapped off. But
He's well loved.
Yes.
yes, he is well loved. The issue with Wedge is that he was super rare to have his accessory. I made it a priority in my mom to try and help me get this figure. Unfortunately, I didn't get it at the time, but my mom secretly purchased it unknowingly to me, and she got me the one that I found for super cheap with the accessory.
Nice.
That fact in this case here, basically, I now just need to buy an incomplete Wedge in order to complete a Wedge. That just sounds so weird saying that.
I did that at
I've
one
done
point.
that
I had
before with my Voyager Scorn, and there's another figure I did that with. The movie bot. It's like they made a 2-pack bludgeon out of it, but the solo release is white.
Oh no, that's not Bludgeon. That's Wreckage. They just took Wreckage and repainted. I think
Yeah,
it
I
was
couldn't remember what the
actually a
main
she.
mold release name was, but like Wreckage and what was the first one I said? Oh, the Voyager Scorn. Those are 2 figures I got, like 2. Even getting 2 like incomplete, it was still cheaper than me buying them. All pieces together, rather than just Frankensteining. So I mean, it's doable. You can sometimes save some money that way for sure.
back in the day, I had a 2001 Robots in Disguise Prowl, and one of his like missiles was broken because they were clear plastic, and somebody else was selling a junker with a broken door, but the missiles were fine. And I kept being like, can I have that one? And he kept being like, the door's broken, right? Just to be clear, the door's broken. I was like, yes. I remember specifically bringing mine to TFCon because I bought it in person there and swapping the parts out in front of him, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
Yep.
At TFCon, this is where I also sparked my interest again in Prime. At TFCon, for $20, I almost grabbed a Transformers Prime smokescreen. It was missing the gun, but to go off this, when I turned the figure, he was missing his window to the door. If he was not missing the window to the door, that would have been in my collection already now. But now I have him complete with his packaging, which is even better.
And I know when Impactor was mentioning how there were some characters he had before he knew what they were from, like the Sideburn and some other RID-01. I remember I had a Cybertron breakdown who's like the brown and yellow cup-like character from the Velocitron planet. And I had like one of the random little universe re-releases that you would find at like Big Lots and those type of places. And I didn't know who he was until like around the time you guys made my acquaintance. When I
I'm
started
currently adding audios to the transformation videos that I'm right now working on, so sooner or later I can post them. And then, so for me personally, I'm not fully comfortable posting my face yet out there on my channel, so I'm going to put the video as private, but still share the screen on my channel of the video.
Okay.
So by maybe 8:35, I'll most likely have this finished.
As the clock is ticking, and actually, I will bring up another item from our website.
Mm-hmm.
And again, another Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah, which company is this? Is it Yellow Park?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I heard. I should probably get one of these at some point, but they're all over the place price-wise. Some of them cost like nothing. Some of them are ludicrously expensive. Anyway, I guess the neat thing that they're doing here is a Bumblebee movie Optimus where you can switch in between his Cybertron mode and Earth mode ones because it's basically just a few details swapped out. And I don't think any other figures really attempted to do that.
Okay.
Sort of making use of the fact that he's not allowed to transform because it's a third-party licensed thing. Being like, well, we can parts form him between his Cybertron and Earth forms. The thing that I find really interesting here is that he has a Matrix, even though he didn't use it in the film, and that seems to be a detail across a bunch of different Bumblebee movie Optimuses now, even though it's like a made-up thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, because like they liked to pretend for a while that these were still prequels to the Michael Bay movies, and then which would mean Optimus wouldn't have the Matrix because it was lost until Revenge of the Fallen. So him having one is like, yeah, no, this is its own thing.
Got it. The Joe Prime says that it's that one is glorious. I guess a question out that to throw out there would be how many Optimus figures don't have a Matrix included, and I know obviously there'd be all of like the early G1
Rise of the Beast Optimus
eras.
does not both Rise of the Beast Optimuses from Deluxe class to Voyager class with Studio Series.
I mean, even like the Blokey's wheels. Now, granted, the Matrix comes with Scamper, not
Yeah.
the Optimus, but even that has a Matrix in the same way as their Optimus.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I might be wrong. I think the first proper transforming Optimus to have a Matrix was
Oh,
the
big
original
color boy.
masterpiece. Yeah,
Sorry, say that again.
the very
Big
first
color boy.
masterpiece.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the first Optimus Prime. Like yeah, before that, Big Convoy had a pull-out Matrix, and Leo Prime had one in his chest. But I think the first Optimus Prime to have one was the first masterpiece.
Okay.
Well, depending. There was also they did a reissue of G1 Optimus that was called New Year's Convoy, and he had that little die-cast matrix you could fit in his chest. That might have come out first, actually. If so, that would mean that a G1 reissue Optimus was the first figure to have a matrix. I'm going to look this up now, because I have to know.
Cool. Well, Joe Prime is saying those triple chains Optimus didn't. I think because I know we were saying which Optimus Primes that were released didn't have a matrix, but I guess it's interesting to see which ones did have matrices.
Yeah. The thing is, at this point, they try to make it so that most of them do. If some of the movie guys don't, but then most of the movies he never uses it. But all the G1 Optimuses, even the little Devastation one, still has a matrix. It's like totally unpainted because it's really tiny, but still.
Right.
Yeah, New Year's Convoy, who came out in 2002, was the first one with a matrix. Let me share that image. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Share the screen. Make it, making sure you understand that I'm still doing things, which is
That's
why I'm
right.
making noise. Yeah, so they're being very pedantic here, and they're counting the little flip out matrix that came with Robots in Disguise Optimus first, even though that wasn't like he wasn't an Optimus in Japan at the time. Uh, but the first true G1
Fire
Matrix of
Convoy
Leadership,
or something he was
yeah,
called.
yeah, it's this die-cast metal one that came with the Optimus reissue that they did in 2002. And I have one of these too. It got re-released a few times. It clips right between the seats. It was die-cast, and it was something new that they made to finally give him one.
Interesting.
And you can see there, it also came with a couple of Galvatron reissues that they did. They got their money's worth out of that tooling.
Yes.
And then, after that, you had Armada Optimus. This is the page for Matrix of Leaderships on the wiki, so it lists all of them basically. Yeah, and then 2003 is when the Masterpiece figure comes out, so that's the first G1 type Optimus to have a Matrix, from the drop instead of them adding one later.
Now I wonder on the wiki, and I'm going to throw that question out: is is there a reference of multiple matrices that they almost hinted on in Call of the Primitives?
Well, let's see. That's the toy section. So back to the main area. Matrix disambiguation.
Joe Prime says, I guess it is the movie ones I'm thinking of where the chest completely folds and there's no matrix.
Like
Yeah.
Power of the Primes, like with the Rodimus Unicronus. I feel like they called that corrupt matrix something special, different than just like a dark matrix or something very dry and simple.
Yeah, there are a lot of matrices at this point. A lot of them are just very obscure.
Interesting.
Let's run through these. So this is like something recent. This is from like Generation Selects. These are the matrices that come with like the various Power of the Primes toys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, major matrices would be the original one, and the Energon matrices that in Japan, by the Beast Wars era, they said a bunch of commanders just had, so there was like nothing special about them.
Okay.
You got the Decepticon matrix, which there's no such thing about. They made it up.
Well, not until recently with Skybound.
Maybe we don't know what that is yet. The reconfiguration matrix, which is a thing Optimus had in Generation 2 that let him switch bodies really quickly. The Minicon matrix from the Armada comics, which they poured all of their energy into so they could destroy Unicron. The Matrix of Purification, which is what Optimus Primal had on his chest during the Universe toy line. You got the Allspark Matrix, which is they didn't have a Matrix in Transformers Animated. They had an Allspark, so Optimus put all the chunks into it after it got smashed into pieces.
Interesting.
Sort of belatedly adding one.
It almost looked like he was carrying a ghetto blaster for a second there.
Yeah. The Origin Matrix from, I guess, the Collector's Club. Powerful and ancient artifact. Forms the handle of the Star Saber.
Joe Prime says Matrix of Enigma, and a whole
Oh,
movie
the
about
Enigma of
that would.
Convolution.
Yes.
The Sharkticon Matrix of Leadership. From those aligned novels that nobody read, including me. Well, somebody felt,
Sharkticon Matrix.
I think I read the first one.
yeah. Supposedly that's what turned Megatron into Sharkticon Megatron, the Transformers Prime toy.
Actually, I guess I'll throw this to you as well.
Hmm.
It's and I thought about it a few weeks ago. Like the Sharkticon, his name is Na.
Yeah.
What are the names of all like the
I like
fleet of
the nom nom nom.
Sharkticons? Na.
Oh, I'll look that up in a second, but I just wanted to point here things have come full circle. The Matrix of Malice is a talisman of evil, Bludgeon, which has as the leader of the Mayhem Attack Squad, and that's from the BotCon story called Of Masters and Mayhem, which is where Toxitron was from.
Wow. Okay.
So we just came full circle. But yeah, let me look that up. Gnaw.
Good. Nah. Yeah, because I mean, really, in essence, there's Scourge and then the Sweeps, but then there's non the Sharkticons. So really, what are the names of the fleet of Sharkticons? If they have names, or are they just 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on?
Well, I have the stuffed nest set up, guys.
Oh. The Toy Warp says, "Oh, nah."
Yeah. In Robots in Disguise 2001, there were two of them called Hammer Strike and Rage Bite. But as you can see, their designs were a little bit different because this was a different continuity from G1.
Okay.
I do want to see these guys in Transformers because I will say looking at RID's designs, I will say some of them really were pretty cool in my opinion. For me, I like the Springtrap or whatever the heck the frog dude's name was.
No.
Because that was one of my
Talking about
that was one
2015 or 01?
2015.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
He was
Yeah, a
one
lot
of
of
the
the
more.
characters in that show didn't get toys in any capacity, or if they did get toys, they were like one-step changers, flip changers. They weren't even warrior class.
I actually
type stuff.
wait, hold right there at that Lego one, that Creo one, the light blue one. I own that figure.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
only figure I own him. Feeling that, but it's
That's a
perfect.
Robots in
I
Disguise
have that.
Sharkticon. Yeah, none of these guys really got named besides Gnaw, at least not the original versions.
That character looks like something that it should be on a cereal box along with Count Chocula. Oh, what is that? A pufferfish?
That is the Blokey's Sharkticon storage
Oh
box.
yeah,
It was done as a gift with purchase, so you could keep
Magnus said he bought
all your
bunch of those.
accessories in there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's been since Magnus isn't here. If you are nice enough, I will send you the video of my head transformation to show him in the next stream if possible.
Okay, will do.
Since
Yeah.
I really wish he was going to be here to see it.
Yeah, so yeah, the only one is the only named one is Gnaw himself.
Gnaw.
Hmm.
Well, that translucent Sharkticon, I could see a whole other storyline where
They got Energon fused.
Oh, I'm thinking of the scene where Unicron turns Megatron into Galvatron. So here you use, Unicron comes along and turns this Sharkticon, turns Gnaw into Gnawtron or something, and you
Does
use this
anybody
character
realize the amount
as the
of
transition.
armory? Look at that small image. He's just carrying. Now, granted, he's meant to carry things. He's just holding a whole bunch of guns, and it makes it look like he's about to start firing. He has like Megatron's gun, Ironhide's, blast effects coming out of his mouth. That right there makes it look like he's a tank.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with him. Stash all your stuff in him.
Yep. They also
It's
have
just how the
a
image
little
looks.
mini arc as well. I could both. I've seen in box, not out of box. Both the arcs and the Sharkticons at the place I get Blokies from. Well, the majority of my Blokies from in cases anyhow. unless I find the odd complete case at Walmart or something. But I don't know.
Okay, when we get out of this, I see what Toy Warp mentions here.
So Toy Warp says, I'd like to army build the Sharkticons in my G1 collection, but the original is a large piece, so it would take much room, which is
Yeah, when I
true.
finally saw one at TFCon in person a few years ago, I was like, my God, he's huge.
Yeah, like it's funny. I'd never seen him until like in recent years as well, and unfortunately getting one, and like he is a big bulky character.
Yeah, he's like a Voyager sized or larger. So the best version of these guys that they did was when they did the little miniature sized ones for Titan's Return. Um, yeah, these guys, because they were small and you could collect a whole bunch of them, and it wouldn't like take up too much space on your shelves. I have a couple of them because I got the original and one that came with the
Still got that, the TR
Quintesson
one,
Judgment.
the Cyberverse one, the Studio series.
Yeah, like they did
I
a Studio
got
Series
the
one, but
Studio
he was a
Series
bit
one
bigger.
first. The spin when he does show the other screen, which is going to be, I'm pretty sure I've already showed and mentioned this.
I just say, actually, here's a size comparison, and yeah, I could see why it would be problematic to build an army of Sharkticons, because here's Starscream.
My goodness, Spin has one.
And here's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Sharkticon. Like, look at the size of him compared to
They definitely kind of goofed.
extremely.
It's Megalodon.
That just makes me want to buy 2 of them for some odd reason. Just
But
buy
you know
2
what?
G1 complete ones, just for the sake of fun. Because look, I have a few Sharkticons already. I have the 86 Sharkticon, and adding those 2, like I'd have an army fully of just these dudes.
But
Me
then
too.
going by size wise, and it's a question of what direction they were going with the toys then, because I mean then you look at Galvatron, and you look at the Sharkticon, so it's like in that sense, the Sharkticon makes sense size wise that he's a bit smaller, but it's still, I mean, Galvatron's like a huge toy, so it's.
I forgot how puny Galvatron's cannon is.
Oh no, I'm missing the bottom part. It's somewhere.
Oh, for a second, I thought it was super small and puny.
Nothing about Galvatron is small and puny. Which
I
actually,
was gonna say,
think,
I realize I think of these guys as being small, but
Ah,
oh,
sorry.
it still works.
I always think about
I
how
had
they're
my
like
earphones
scaled
on,
next
or
to
shit, that
Grimlock,
would've
who's
been
supposed to be
bugged out.
gigantic.
So actually, well, yeah. Let me. There we go.
I tend to think of them as being tiny because you always see them in scenes like this, even though Grimlock is supposed to be gigantic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like Godzilla size to them.
But now I want to see if there's a good comparison next to Hot Rod and Cup, because I feel like maybe the size is a bit more accurate than one would think.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what a G1, G2 Grimlock would have been size compared to that
Sharkticon.
Null that Spin has.
And I used to have Grimlock. Looking at the Gnaw,
Definitely bigger than a Pretender Grimlock.
actually, he would be about the same size. The only difference is Gnaw is bulkier, whereas like Grimlock in his robot mode would probably be about the exact same height.
They're the same size almost as them if they so transform.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about the characters in the show here, since we have this image right here.
Excuse me.
See, now I'm just trying to find screen grabs of.
I got some as Spin is able to share sooner or later.
I'm just looking for images here. I was looking for like size comparison images.
Oh, yeah, which is it's funny that you had the one image with Cup fighting with Gnaw, because I mean then they're toy wise it's kind of the same thing again.
Yeah, I mean, like, they don't seem particularly gigantic in the film. They just seem a little bit smaller than Hot Rod and Cup.
Mm.
So yeah, I wonder why they. Well, I mean, everything in the G1 toy line had a very weird scale. It seems they were just kind of doing whatever. But
All
like,
over the
yeah,
place.
yeah. There's no fictional basis for this.
Blaster and Devastator having the same size. So
Hmm.
Don't even get me started with that one. That one was even weirder.
But the thing with the 86 movie characters and afterwards, I mean, at that point, Hasbro started developing stuff themselves. And it
Yeah,
wasn't like, the first 2 years of Transformers where it was just, randomly drawn from other pre existing sources. So, I mean, they could have, in theory, been like, oh, let's try to make all these movie guys in scale with each other. But I guess it was like, nah.
yeah. All right. Well, we have Impactor Productions. We have your production up on the screen.
Now this one I've showed already, but mentioning just the Sharkticons and what Toy Warp said, just have now. Granted, my mom was the reason why I have these. Just find a good lot of the Titans of Terran characters. I got 16 of these dudes. So now,
I never thought I'd be so happy to see those.
oh yeah, that's
big
the
bozos.
exact same image I just posted.
Yep.
So yeah, that looks accurate, right?
watch out! Look at this. I was able to do some
Yeah, the
crazy
Titans
camera stuff
Returns
here.
one are the best way to go.
I did some crazy camera stuff here to make Grimlock look 10 times huger than these dudes, and also make it look like there's an army of these dudes at the same time. Since 16 isn't that exactly easy to show.
Me Grimlock say execute them.
Really excellent body
But the
language on these
problem
guys.
was about to
Yeah.
be resolved very shortly.
Like, right here, all this, so this was just repeat images of all the characters running, and I replaced Slag here with Snarl just to give him a little more
Giving
screen
him
time.
another cameo. Yeah.
We just see them all start running repeatedly. Also, look at this right here. Do you see that? That's the We're Cooked video.
We're cooked. Well, that's for a different day.
Yes, it is for a different day. Now, let's get to the two other videos. So I first did Optimus, and then I did Toxitron, then I'll show the face transform.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm in the face.
Oh, I love that. That's very smooth.
Yep.
And like that figure, I've always found him kind of fiddly to transform. So the fact that you've solved it enough to figure out like a smooth sequence for it is really admirable to me too. I can never quite get the arms out of the way of his backpack when I'm trying to get them out. I always gotta go back and
Also,
forth.
to mention this, in this, I used 3 different audios of War for Cybertron transformations. I used Bumblebee's transformation for the beginning. No, never mind, correction. I used Sideswipe's transformation from the game, then I used Brawl's transformation from the game, and then I used finally Bumblebee's untransforming motion from the game. Like, to create the transformation audio.
Oh, and Toy Warp mentioned for you adding Snarl in the video, justice #justice for Snarl.
Then I did Toxitron while we were just all chatting here.
Yeah. You know, oh, hey, nice. Let's see. Again, nice and smooth.
I did already. Look at this. I already did one with him transforming, so why not just do one him transferring and leaving? So that's that basically.
See, only on our stream would do we get to see stop motions that were created while we're streaming live.
Then dashboard, if I go to my content here, I should have the video. Yep. Wait.
Blue streak.
We'll see in a second.
We're waiting.
I was going to say, I've looked extensively into the production of the '86 movie. Nobody still has a straight answer for why Snarl was absent like that.
He was in the
Um,
washroom.
I personally
yeah,
like the fan art of him like sitting on the toilet
Yep.
as the ship is
yeah.
leaving.
They did do. There was one of those voice actor plays at BotCon one year, like a semi-official one, because they're at BotCon, where they had Snarl's voice actor among the people, and you know how it's always like, oh, we all got pulled from different dimensions to have this adventure, and Snarl's like, I was at Autobot City shooting at sweeps, and then I got pulled here, so that's why I'm not in the rest of the movie.
That actually could.
Yeah.
Just
For
going off
me,
of the old R stand files that I've been recently reading up on, and the entire battle you see before Hot Rod runs up the stairs and Cup tells him that's Prime's fight, I could fit Snarl into that.
You
That
could do
could
that.
make a reasonable fit in.
Well, it's funny when you eat. As you mentioned it, it just reminded me of the original X-Men series, and there's an episode where they're talking about Miss Marvel, and essentially it's like they take previous episodes, but then they just kind of plant her image in the previous episodes as like a screenshot, or is just kind of like, she was trying to make herself seen. So it's just like, you just take the '86 movie and then just like, the scene where Hot Rod's running, just play Snarl in there. The part where like Optimus is transforming into battle, just like place Snarl, just like, in the background, and just keep placing him in all these different little areas.
Well, for me personally, I'm going to do that with Reflector once again, since he only appears in that one moment, so I'm going to just add the characters where they are needed and where they are missing.
And then just take a whole comedic run on it, and it's like as they're inside of Unicron and like Hot Rod's like falling, down to that level, you just see Snarl just kind of like chilling in the background.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Yes, please. I think, special editing time. You just gave me that idea. I have Snarl, I have Hot Rod, I have everybody pretty much. So maybe I'll do a big shot of where Hot Rod's falling down. So like I'll do in stop motion the scene of them flying into Unicron's eye. I have Unicron, so I can just take the head and just do that stuff. And then when it gets to the big image of where everybody's falling down, I'll just have Snarl chilling on one of the spikes that catches Hot Rod.
Maybe Slag will like be in like somewhere, and then he'll just be like, "Excuse me, just make it all just turn it into complete comedy. Like, why not?"
Oh, I think I'll do that. So before we leave, would you guys like to see the face transforming?
Yes.
Sure.
So I believe it is sharing right now. Oh wait, never mind. I'm still stuck. Okay, so 1 second, just leave it there, and I'm gonna now do this. So transforms. There we go. I think I got it now.
There we go.
Someone has a elephant trumpet nose.
Blank face, but I tried my best with this.
Nice. That is
That's
for you,
totally
Mr.
like-
Magnus.
That's totally like a channel logo type thing.
Mm-hmm.
To go off this, the head here, so the audios I pulled. So I pulled the rescue bots of all things. So the first moment where Boulder scans his bulldozer mode, I took the audio for that, for the eyes glowing up. Then I did Wolfer Cybertron Sideswipes his transformation. Then I added Stinger's transformation from Age of Extinction to just add the extra technical effect to it. To create, well, pretty much this. So yeah.
That's frightening.
But yeah, that's the video, and I'm planning to try and improve it a little bit more as each time I try and do it. It's gonna be a one-time thing, like every maybe 1 month, because actually, as I mentioned, so I want to see if Spin can also mention this to Magnus. I am creating a new stop motion series. And with that stop motion series comes voice actors. And so currently I've been thinking and planning out, since you guys have been a big part of the series, well, not series, of my entire channel, maybe bring you guys in to voice act for some of the characters.
Oh,
So,
There you go.
so I was thinking Magnus here would voice himself, of course, just because, well, why not? And then I don't know who else everybody else here would voice. For me personally, I'd see Spin voicing one of the many weird animal Decepticons I have, since I have so many, or one of the Autobot Protector Bots once I get the rest of them.
If
Like,
Hubcap is in the story, I'll voice Hubcap.
well, I have Hubcap already. I have
Yeah,
a Wrecker's
Hubcap is a
Hubcap.
very like important or specifically to fear and courage character.
Okay, so then Fear
Yeah.
Courage, I will put you in as Hubcap because it's hilarious how people just all of a sudden say characters I'm going to put in the story. 3-minute long episode. So you first get the beginning of everything, a past explanation, and then what's happening now. And then the next 2 episodes are just going to be continuation of what's happening now to like give a brief explanation on what's happening. Because the series' name is Transformers Warbound.
well,
So it's going to be a full-on war-based stop-motion series. So mention this to Magnus if possible, or I will in the comments. So I will
definitely
send you Spin. I will send you the video of my head transforming.
cool. Definitely, I have to do a Protectobot, but I'm gonna throw. Do you have a sea spray in your collection?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
There.
Get
Oh, right.
Spin
He's
to
the.
spray.
There you go.
Well,
Okay, that actually works. So I think. I was thinking of adding the Wreckers in the final episode because I was going to come down to a big clash where I have Menasor. So to go off the spoilers ahead, Menasor and the aerial bots are going to be the main combiners in this series.
nice.
So I was thinking I'd give the Decepticons Overlord, Tarn, and somebody else that's big and gloomy and doomy, while giving the Autobots the Wreckers. So I will plan out things, and I will have Spin here send you the lines for it, because it's not going to be many, but I'm pretty sure you guys will get the gist of everything. Just record the lines, and I will do the special effects.
Nice and easy.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, write down like all the characters that are gonna be in it, and that would. Then
I already
maybe-
did that. To go
Well,
off
have it
this, if
so
I
you
just-
can send it to like Spin, and he can share it in the group chat or something. So then people can try their voices for different, either their native voices or just voices that come naturally to them, like Spin with Sea Spray. So you can kind of
Alright.
be a way to kind of be like a catch-all to see who does what characters best out of the Children of Primus crew, anyhow.
I think it would
To
be
mention
fun.
this quickly before we leave, in my announcements, as I mentioned, to go off this, the bots and cons I have. So as I mentioned, I have Optimus. Oh no, let me just scroll up here quickly. So for Autobots, I have. Let me just scroll right to the moment where I messaged it. We have Optimus, Cliffjumper, Sandstorm, Ratchet, Ironhide, all the aerial bots, Outback, and Brawn. So I'm using Bayverse, Brawn, and Outback, and I have a friend of mine who does a very good Master Chief voice, and that's how Bayverse Brawn has been depicted to have a similar voice to Master Chief. So I have Brawn and Optimus so far casted, and then I think Silverbolt, I'm not fully sure, and then my Decepticons, I have Megatron, Soundwave, Shockwave, all the Stunticons, Cyclonus, and Brawl from the Bayverse. And to mention some of the characters I already got casted in this is Knockout. I have one of the biggest known voice actors for Knockout, who does him in a Lost Stop Motion series. That's like how popular he is.
Nice.
One of my friends actually sent me his Discord, and now we just been chatting now for past 2 days now, and now he's down to do Knockout for the series. So I have him there for doing Knockout, and I have I'm doing Starscream for the series on top of that. To go off this, Magnus, I soloed out for episode 1 since I'm going to have, hopefully, Mr. Magnus voice him. If not, I'll still have somebody else do him. Maybe I'll have my dad do him. But, like, to go off this, I'm trying to do something fun here and just incorporate Children of Primus into it.
Cool. Well, here we go. 10 seconds left. So, check out Impactor Productions. Subscribe to his channel.
Please check out Children of Primus. They deserve it.
and Toy Warp Vintage Reviews, you know, hiding in the comments. And and Joe Prime
One day we will
1986.
see each other again.
There you go. So as we say at the end of all of our streams, to all are one.
$1.
We now return you to the Children of Primus.